the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Buckeye fans? Welcome back to another episode of Locked On Buckeyes for the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast. It is Wednesday, June 16th in the year 2021. And no matter if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast or if you're watching us on YouTube, I want to thank you for making Locked On Buckeyes a part of your day. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at JStevens07. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter as well at Locked On Buckeye. Lineup for today in segment 2, we bring back the Big Things Coming series. Wrap it up this week talking about the defensive linemen. 2, 1 for today, and then 1 for Friday. And then also segment 3, what is the end game for expansion? A little different twist, maybe from a different conversation that I had that maybe you might not have heard or thought about when it comes to expansion. But before we get to all that, I want to remind you to make sure that you check out the Locked On NFL Draft podcast, because it's the perfect place to join Trevor Sakuma and Braden Solak as they recap and analyze the 2021 NFL Draft and take a look ahead at next year's future first-round picks. Follow the Locked On NFL Draft podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your fine podcast. There are 2 gentlemen on the basketball team. This is the first time in a while that the opening subject or topic has been about the basketball. But there's 2 individuals. They're leaders. They were the top 2 leading scorers. They're the 2 individuals that have put their name out there to potentially be in the NBA draft. I know CJ Walker said he wants to professionalize himself at the end of his career at Ohio State. I firmly think that is maybe G League route, or it is overseas route, not NBA. Now, the NBA is the ultimate goal, but I don't know how much of a pro prospect CJ Walker is. However, Junior and Liddell, those are 2 names people know very, very well from their play and sometimes dominant play during the Big Ten. Both of those individuals, E.J. Liddell and Duane Washington Jr., they have received an invite. I want to say the title correctly, so I'm not butchering it. They have received an invite, and they're part of the Field of 40 draft prospects for the 2021 NBA G League Elite Camp in Chicago, Illinois. Now, also with this announcement that these individuals, Liddell and Junior, are going to be at this camp, it is going to be June 19th through the 21st. People that will be at this camp are NBA and G League scouts, coaches, and front office executives. Things that'll go on in this camp or combine that will allow them to showcase their skills. There will be 5-on-5 scrimmages. There will be strength and agility drills. It is a 3-day event. This is huge for these 2 young men. This is big for these 2 young men. When it comes to the next level, there are literally levels to this. You could go G League route. You could go to the overseas route. There are levels to the overseas route. You could also go to the NBA. There are levels to this. And it's very, 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 very hard to get to that top echelon of the NBA, where you are one of the elite of the elite of the elite that find themselves on a roster of 30 NBA teams, 15 people on that roster. It's just amazing to me that these guys find themselves in the 40. Now, I'm not saying it's surprising, but you love hearing players that like Liddell's caliber and Junior's caliber, where they were so so efficient at times on the basketball court and making big shot after big shot after big shot. And I remember early on in the season, and I'm like, hey, I watched Liddell in his freshman year, but his growth from his freshman year to his sophomore year, you can't hide it. It's there. Junior's growth, every single year he's been at Ohio State, it's there. You can't hide it. Here are some other names that'll be at this camp as well, and I want to relay some information in regards to what is to come as far as this event here. So other names, you may know these names. Some of these names you may not. But when I was looking over this list, Jose Alvarado of Georgia Tech. I'm going to just name a few, not going to go through all of them. Mac McClung from Texas Tech. He is invited to this. Shondae Brown from the team up north. He is invited to the G League camp, or I call it the Combine, but I believe the official term is a G League Elite camp. You also have Marcus Carr from Minnesota, another Big Ten guy. EJ Onu from Shawnee State. Musa Cisse from Memphis. Kofi Coburn from Illinois is going to be there. Amir Sims from Clemson. Javonte Smart from LSU. Mike Smith from the team up north will be there as well. Maceo Teague from Baylor. You have Marcus Garrett from Kansas. Dawson Garcia from Marquette. Just a few of the other names that'll be there. There's 40 individuals there. And there will be some of these individuals that will get an invite and will have a shot and a chance to participate and show off their skills in the NBA Combine, which is also in June. Once again, the dates for the G League Elite Camp, June 19th through 21st. The dates for the NBA Combine, June 21st through 27th. Yes, one day overlaps, but it's nice that they're in the same local area, so you're not having players having to travel from Chicago to Miami, or Chicago to Vegas, or Chicago to New York, or Chicago to Dallas, or Chicago to LA. They're all right there. Just like the NFL Combine is always in Indianapolis, that might get moved to LA with a new stadium out there in Los Angeles. But the NBA Combine also is always in one area, Chicago. I like this for both players. I think this is a phenomenal chance. Once you're getting, when I first saw this report, I saw 40 and I was like, wait, they're only inviting 40 people to the NBA Combine and they got the invite? I'm not knocking it. Just saying, like, that's surprising. But no, G League and possibly get there to get an invite to the NBA Combine. I think Junior can do. I think Junior can do well. I think they both can do well and kill this workout and really just show, hey, bump us up a level. Like I told you earlier, there are levels to this. These young men know there are levels to this. If they knock out this level of the draft process, they'll get bumped up to the next level of the draft process because they know there are levels to this, and you got to kill at one to get moved up to the other. Guys, let's step away very quickly. When we come back, big things coming. Series continues. Defensive lineman number 1 of the week. Who is it? Stick around to find out. But first, check this out. Did you know that Built Bar has 9 delicious flavors, plus the occasional limited time flavor as well. Some of their flavors are coconut and also coconut almond and mint brownie and peanut butter brownie, and everybody loves chocolate, and they give you a double chocolate Built Bar to enjoy. There's literally a flavor for everyone. Built Bars, there's not just a lot of flavors, some limited time flavors, but also they're tasty and healthy as well. Low calorie, low sugar, high protein, high fiber, and it's also great for that keto diet. Go to BuiltBar.com and use promo code LOCKED15, LOCKED15, and you will get 15% off your first order. Once again, go to BuiltBar.com and use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at BuiltBar.com. If this is your first time listening to Locked On Buckeyes, I want to say welcome. Or if it's your first time in a long time, I want to say welcome back. Make sure you follow and hit that subscribe button on whatever app you're utilizing. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button so you're updated every single time a new episode of Locked On Buckeyes gets released. The Odyssey app, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, so many ways, WKYC.com, so many ways to enjoy Locked On Buckeyes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, plus with the occasional bonus episode. We had one yesterday. There might be a bonus episode coming next week as well. Big things coming. When I was thinking about this series and thinking about what happened last year with the defensive linemen that played. Now, I must preface this because I want to make sure that I remind everyone this may be your first time listening to this series here. Big things coming. The players that are eligible for this portion, they would have had to have played football at Ohio State and played snaps. Not one, but snaps. And we would have had to see them on the field numerous times. I have to say that because Jack Sawyer, not eligible for this series this week because he has not played one down of regular season football for the Ohio State Buckeyes. I want to get that out of the way up front. So when people are like, why aren't you picking Jack Sawyer? That's why. But when I was thinking about this series here, when I was thinking about who I was going to be talking about and discussing, it could have easily been Haskell Garrett. Haskell Garrett could have been the first name that came to my mind. He killed last year. He's going to be that 3 technique. He's going to get more focused this year, especially with Tommy Togiai being gone. Teams are going to try to say, look, we saw how you were the disruptor last year. Your duo or your buddy is gone, the guy that was right next to you on the D-line. You know what? We're going to double team. We're going to focus on you. We're going to try to isolate you so you do not disrupt our offense like you did last season. But I didn't want to go that route. There's actually somebody by the name of Taron Vincent that I think at that nose tackle position, the position that he has played for a while, position that at 6'2", 300 pounds, he has a quickness, he has the length, he has the strength to really be a problem right there. But when I say Taron Vincent, many people don't really think about him and say, well, Jay, he's a guy that he doesn't really play much. When he's on the field, he's not there very often. Yeah, he shows flashes of good plays, but why in the world are you bringing up Taron Vincent? I'm going to pull up his stats very quickly because that's a good point. I know someone might be thinking, Jay, well, he's been around since 2018. Didn't play in 2019 due to injury. He's only played 6 games. He only has 10 tackles. He only has 2 TFLs or tackles for loss. Sacks on his career, 1.5 sacks. What in the world are you thinking, or is in your brain that leads you to think we should expect big things from Taron Vincent? There's a couple of them. A couple reasons, numerous reasons, but I only got time to go over to a couple right now. He was in rotation. I believe he was a 5-star defensive tackle coming out of IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. Remember when I was talking about the other day that Braxton Miller and Troy Smith want to bring an IMG Academy style prep school to Ohio? Google IMG Academy. If you're not familiar with it, I encourage you. Not now. If you're driving, if you're at your computer, or if you're at home, or you're just chilling, go ahead. Google IMG Academy on your phone, your iPad, your tablet, your computer, laptop, whatever it is. Google IMG Academy and look at the list of athletics that they have. Go to the athletics page. And then if you want to really go a step further, go to 24/7 Sports recruiting rankings, say football. You can even go basketball. You're going to see IMG Academy athletes listed all throughout their top 50. You can go top 30 and see numerous IMG Academy athletes. They bring them from all around the country. They go down there to Bradenton, Florida, and they play the football at a very high level, and they develop talent consistently. Taron Vincent came from that factory. Well, he was there at that factory. Taron Vincent is an individual that when he was there his freshman year, he was in rotation. Sophomore year was derailed by injuries. Last year, he didn't play until the end of the season due to recovering from an injury. COVID really derailed his recovery and his rehab, and him being able to be at full strength at that time. Because, if you have an abrupt ending or a stopping point or a breaking point in your rehab, and you need that rehab, you need a rehabilitation to be able to be at your best at the end of the season, when the season starts, and you don't have that, that slows down your healing / recovery process. And we saw that last year from Taron Vincent. We saw some flashes of him playing at the end of the season, some good play, some decent play, but it wasn't consistent. And you did see, and I went back and saw a clip from, I think, the 2018 Big Ten Championship game, and you can even go back to this past year at the end of the season, Taron Vincent in the middle. If he was healthy all year long, I think you would have seen bigger problems. That's part of the reason defense really came around. The D-line was as good as it was at the end of the season. You had better guys there, and you don't have to play your big guys consistently over and over and over and over and over again. He's healthy. He's there. And even during the spring, even during the spring practice, and there were media availability, Ryan Day even noticed some differences, and he was asked about who was going to be replacing Tommy Togiai and who was going to be placing the hole there on the defense. Ryan Day had this to say, And he mentions Taron Vincent's name very, very early in his statement. Quote, I think Taron Vincent has a chance to have a breakout year for us. He started off in the offseason with Coach Mick Mariotti. He was gold in the strength and conditioning this quarter for champions, and his play has been excellent. He's definitely playing his best football, and it all started in the offseason. He gave himself to Coach Mick. He got the gold, and now he's about to take off. If you were asking me probably the most improved right now, I would probably say Taron up front. Here's what Taron had to say in regards to how he feels. This is back in the spring. Quote, I feel it physically. I feel stronger, faster, just more explosive off the ball and stuff like that. I can feel it in my physical body and the game's kind of slowing down. I'm older now. I can see stuff happening before it happens. End quote. This goes to the other reason why I think we're going to see a phenomenal breakout, big things coming season from Taron Vincent. If you go back and watch some of his tape, you may have to rewind it 2 or 3 times to really focus on it, really get the right camera angle on what Taron Vincent does as a defensive tackle. Because when you're right there in the mesh, you're right there by the center, or you're shading, or you're head up on the center, or you're shading the center, zero technique or one technique. A lot of times it's hard with the wrong camera angle to really figure out and really understand what that young man is doing. But Taron Vincent, his hand placement and timing of his hands. I saw this back in 2018, his freshman year. Most freshman defensive tackles, their timing with their hands, being able to read and then counter what the offensive lineman is doing, they don't have that early on. Those are skills that you develop over time. A coach like Larry Johnson, he knows what he's doing, and he knows that, hey, what we get from Taron right now is not the Taron we're going to get next year or the year after, or if he stays for a 4th year, the year after that. I firmly believe Taron Vincent, the full all season he's getting, the strength that he's getting, strengthening mainly his core, because that's one thing I think gets overlooked. Strengthening his core, working with his hands, the counters, the hand movements, the hand placements. I firmly think Ohio State fans, and myself included, can and should expect big things from Taron Vincent in the fall. 2 segments down, 1 to go. We're going to talk about expansion. What is the end game? Could we be thinking about something that could be happening down the road as far as expansion? Is this it? Stick around to find out my opinion on that. But first, check this out. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your sports action. Baseball season is in full swing, and you can track all the action at BetOnline. Get all the latest news, odds, and info for all your sporting needs, including MLB, NBA, NHL, and all your UFC/MMA action. Before the next pitch, head over to BetOnline on your laptop or mobile device and check out all the great sporting news, sign-up bonuses, and even contest information. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore, as this is your chance to get into the game as teams prep for the runs to the playoffs. Head to betonline.ag on your laptop or mobile device to sign up today. And when you do, make sure you use promo code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, all one word, and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, your online sports book experts. RockAuto.com is a family business serving auto parts customers online for 20 years. Go to RockAuto.com to shop for auto and body parts from hundreds of manufacturers. They have everything from engine control modules and brake parts to your door. The RockAuto.com catalog is unique and remarkably easy to navigate. Quickly see all the parts available for your vehicle and choose brands, specifications, and even prices you prefer. Best of all, prices at RockAuto.com are always reliably low. And the same for professionals and do-it-yourselfers. Go to RockAuto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck, right locked on in their How Did You Hear About Us box, so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com. And as we roll on and continue and wrap up today's episode here of Locked On Buckeyes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team. So happy. It's beautiful. It's fun. It's enjoyable. The weather is amazing outside. There may have been a dark period right there. If you're watching the video, sometimes the system gets a little glitchy, but your boy is back. Hasn't gone anywhere. One thing that we could say has not gone anywhere, the people that complain about the playoff format. You complain about things in the 80s. You complained about things in the 90s. You got the BCS. Oh, let's add one more game. Let's add to get some more money. Oh, we don't like the BCS poll. Let's add a playoff with the human element with the poll. Oh, we don't like that. The 14. No, we're going to add and expand. Oh, the contract's over in 2025. Oh, no. That's just a contract. That's just paper. My signature doesn't mean anything. We can change that thing in that and get right back to 2023 and alter things there. What is the end game with expansion? Is this it? I don't think so. I don't. And when I was thinking about this is more of a national topic or a topic that's just more expansion, just expansion as a whole, not just Ohio State. But I do think there will be a chance at a time we do see more automatic bids for the group of 5 people, group of 5 level. Now, why do you think I'm adding that? Because if there's more automatic bids, it's more playoff spots, and that could ultimately mean if Ohio State has what they had during the Cooper years, Ohio State could, not hopefully it doesn't happen that anytime soon, 3 losses, maybe 4 L's, and get an at-large berth into the playoff because, well, you want to make sure you make everybody happy. This to me reminds me, I'll make this very, very quick. This reminds me of the NCAA tournament back when they had 32 teams. Things are going well. Tournament was fine. But there was always that one person that was a little hesitant, upset, didn't like the final outcome. And you know the NCAA, they're about their money. I'm not knocking the NCAA for being about their money. Ohio State's about their money. Your boy wants to make more money. I'm just being honest with you. Being about your money is not a bad thing. But the NC2A says, hey, look, we could add more teams, provide an automatic berth for every basketball conference champion, tournament conference champion. If you don't have a tournament, regular season, if you're the champ there, you're getting an automatic berth. We can do all that, make a lot of money, and add more teams in. And you know what's going to happen? These TV networks will be in. They'll add some more money. Trust me, I am an advocate of having a rotation. The Fox, the CBS, the NBC, the ESPN, put the ESPN National Championship on ABC so everybody can watch it on network television. That's just me. But I think that this is not the end of expansion. I don't at all. I'm not a fan of expansion at all, but I don't think this is the end. I think the end game is, since you want to make more people happy, in a few years, somebody will be upset that has power, and they'll be the ones that'll be there changing things to make more people happy. I knew expansion was going to come. I know I keep saying that, but I think this is something you can't hide with the way things are right now in sports, in our society, and the way that things have gone in college football for quite a long time. Things have been leading to this point. I would have preferred, if you're going to expand, to go to an 8 versus a 12, but at some point, even in these here discussions, if SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey has the power that he has in these discussions, in these meetings, let's just say he says yes to a 12 initially before they go into the meeting, and he's like, well, I know I verbally said yes, but I don't like 12. I'd rather Alabama host a game. I'd rather, if LSU's up top, I'd rather LSU or Auburn or Florida, I'd rather them host a game than to have a bye. Go to 16. Everybody, if you end up playing for the national championship, the 2 teams that play there, assuming that the one of them wins their conference championship game, will play the same amount of games. I don't think this is the end of expansion. I don't like saying that at all. This is personally my opinion. I think down the road, because we have seen this from the Bowl Coalition, 92 to 94, the Bowl Alliance, 94 to 97, the BCS from 98, they changed that thing in 03, added another game. from 98 until 2012 season, 2012 season, I believe. 2013 season, somewhere around there, was 2013 season was the final year of the BCS. And then 2014 until now, nobody has had anything that's been on the same page. And I still think the track record of college football, 5 to 10 years down the road, somebody will find another way to complain, shake things up once again. Guys, this has been fun, enjoyable. Your boy got us running today, 7 days straight of being active and getting moving. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see my face. My face is a whole lot darker. I got a little tan line from my Apple Watch that I wear. Hey, it's fun getting out there, getting active, sweating a little bit, getting a body in better shape quicker than I was on the path that I was going. Before tomorrow, I got to run tomorrow. I got to run Friday. I got to run Saturday, Sunday, every single day, trying to get as active and stay as active as I can. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Get out there. I went hiking on Monday for over 2 hours. I ended up going over 8 miles hiking over in Brown County State Park in Nashville, Indiana. Yes, it sounds like it's in the middle of nowhere. It is in the middle of nowhere. It's a beautiful place to be. If you're ever traveling to Indiana, you want to stop. There's cabins down there. There's shopping down there. There's you can camp. If you want to bring a camper or a tent, you can do all that stuff there as well. Shameless plug for Brown County because it was fun being there. You guys can always follow me on Twitter at jstevens07. I have no idea where that came from. You can also send all of your emails to jstevens317 at gmail.com. I am done for the day. Come back on Friday and we'll wrap up the week.